Welcome to This Explainer. I am beyond excited to unpack something truly spectacular with you today. We're looking at a monumental cultural moment that dropped in April 2026, marking a bold, entirely new era for a pop icon. If you love dissecting exactly how music, visuals, and pop culture intersect, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're breaking down Lady Gaga's phenomenal track, Runway, using the facts, the data, and the visual evidence to understand how she's redefining the modern pop landscape yet again.
It's a pretty fascinating question, isn't it? What happens when high fashion absolutely collides with experimental pop? Well, usually, you get a great music video. But with Lady Gaga, you get an entirely new multimedia universe. This isn't just about a catchy chorus, it's about taking the meticulously crafted world of haute couture and slamming it at high speed into boundary-pushing, avant-garde music. The whole premise of this explainer is to show you exactly how this unique fusion was achieved and why it represents such a massive shift in how we experience pop music today.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1. Enter the Runway era.
We're looking at the actual sonic DNA of the track here. As the foundation, Lady Gaga brings her signature, larger-than-life theatrical vocals and anchors them in a pulsating, powerful dance-pop rhythm. But what keeps it from being just another standard club track? Well, that's Doechii. Gaga collaborated with the rising rapper who injects these razor-sharp, edgy verses straight into the mix. And this contrast is just brilliant. By layering Doechii's grounded, cutting flow right over Gaga's grand theatrical pop, the song builds a surprisingly powerful, textured dynamic. It's a true sonic fusion that keeps your ear constantly guessing. Moving on to Section 2, a cinematic fashion universe.
You see, Runway isn't just a standalone single released out into the void, it serves as the lead single from the soundtrack of one of the most highly anticipated sequels in modern cinema, The Devil Wears Prada 2. This is an absolute masterstroke of cross-promotion. By tying this song directly to The Devil Wears Prada 2, Gaga isn't just releasing music, right? She is firmly planting her art inside a heavily established fashion-centric cinematic universe. It totally elevates the song from a standard pop release to a major, inescapable cinematic event.
All right, Section 3, extravagant visuals and nostalgia.
Now, what's really wild to see here is this massive number, 800. According to reports, that is a staggering amount of hours spent creating just some of the custom couture designs featured in the Runway music video. Just think about that level of dedication for a second. That is literally over a solid month of continuous 24/7 labor dedicated entirely to fabric, stitching, and structural design. It deeply emphasizes the song's profound connection to genuine fashion artistry. It proves for sure that this isn't just fast fashion for a quick video shoot. No, this is wearable, museum-quality art. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what all those 800 hours actually produced. The music video is an absolute visual feast, packed with oversized heels, completely avant-garde costumes, and dramatic runway-style choreography. What's so fascinating about these surreal props and designs is how they serve a dual purpose. On one hand, they evoke a strong sense of nostalgia, directly referencing her iconic, headline-grabbing past looks and theatrical roots. But simultaneously, they introduce a completely fresh, modern aesthetic. It's basically a visual tightrope walk between honoring her own legacy and pushing the boundaries of what high-fashion pop looks like today.
Which brings us to Section 4, chart success and evolution.
So, Runway quickly made a massive impact, securing Lady Gaga her record-breaking 10th #1 on Billboard's Dance Digital Song Sales chart. Adding a 10th #1 is a phenomenal milestone for an already legendary career. But here is the truly vital piece of context. The song achieved this top spot despite being released late in the tracking week. Overcoming that kind of mathematical disadvantage requires an overwhelming surge of immediate listens. It is absolute proof of her immense, unwavering streaming power and the fiercely dedicated fan support she continues to command.
I actually want to pause here for a second and explain why this really matters. Critics have highlighted Runway as a celebration of three core themes: fashion, individuality, and performance art. These aren't just buzzwords, guys. These are the three foundational pillars that have defined Lady Gaga's legacy literally since her debut. Runway acts as a complete distillation of everything that makes her unique. By weaving these three elements together so flawlessly in one single project, she's reminding the world exactly who she is, while showing us that these themes are just as potent now as they were a decade ago.
This whole collaboration represents her continued evolution. By mixing electronic beats with cinematic production into experimental pop, Gaga isn't just playing it safe. Following the massive success she had with tracks like Abracadabra and her critically acclaimed album Mayhem, Runway pushes her sound even further.
She's taking aggressive electronic beats and marrying them with grand, sweeping cinematic production. It's a complex, layered sound that absolutely refuses to sit neatly in one single genre box.
So here's the big question I want to leave you with today. As Runway forcefully pushes pop music into a bold new experimental realm, what visually driven era will Gaga conquer next? This release has fueled incredibly high anticipation for the rest of the music tied to the Devil Wears Prada 2 film. It hints that we are standing on the precipice of another massive, visually spectacular era for the pop icon. The fusion of cinema, haute couture, and experimental pop is just beginning. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep analyzing the music, and I'll see you next time as we break down another fascinating topic.